Good morning, YouTube, BookTube. This is Johnny. I thought I'd make a video. I was going to do a video tonight. It is a Friday morning here in West Michigan. It is 8:33 in the morning. It is December the 20th. Like I said, it's a Friday. The reason why I was going to make a video tonight is that my wife goes back to work, and somebody asked me where I've been. I know it's been 4 days, but like I've said many times in these videos, time to me just goes by so quickly that I just never sat myself down to make a video. And I thought, before, as you all know, on Fridays I go to the Book Nook, our local library used bookstore. The Book Nook I usually leave at 9:40. It is 9:34. My wife left this morning to have breakfast with a friend and to do errands and to visit people. So I thought I'd make a video since I got almost an hour before I will leave for the Book Nook. And what I'm going to do in this video is do a used book haul. And yesterday the weather was really nice here in West Michigan. It was dry, it was somewhat sunny, and my wife said, let's go to Grand Haven, which is north of us, about 25 minutes from us, and go to their library used bookstore, Cheapstacks. Now we had gone there, I think it was last week, and when we went to there it was closed. The volunteers hadn't shown up. But what we did yesterday, we called up Cheapstacks in Grand Rapids, and they said yes, there would be a volunteer there at the store. So my wife and I, we drove to Cheapstacks, and at Cheapstacks, paperbacks are 25 cents, and hardbacks are 50 cents, and first editions are like $2. And usually I buy a lot of books there, and I'm just going to show you the books that I bought at Cheapstacks yesterday. I'm not going to go into great detail about them. I'm not going to, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. There's 30 books here. And we got all these books for $11. So here we go. These are the Cheapstacks used books. And the first one I'll show is one I was reading last night. This is Pearson, Diaries, 1949 to 1959, edited by Abell. He was a journalist, and when I was reading it last night, it's the beginning of the Truman presidency, 1949, and he talks about the New Deal and different things that are going on, and he was, of course, it's about American politics. That's the reason why I got it. Like I said, I'm not going to go into great detail. This is a historical fiction by Simeon Bonafide, Sashenka. It's a novel about, it takes place during the Russian Revolution. He wrote a 2-volume biography on Stalin. And I bought this biography on Gellhorn. She was a journalist. She was also one of Hemingway's wives. Gellhorn, A 20th-Century Life by Carolyn Moorehead. And then I picked up this autobiography of Sidney Hook, who was like an intellectual, a New York intellectual. He was a Marxist. It's about his life. And it just looked interesting. It was like it's only 50 cents, out of step. An Unquiet Life in the 20th Century by Sidney Hook. I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to read a biography or an autobiography by a Marxist and how he looked at the 20th century. The Second World War and its casualties, like a chapter, the Committee for Cultural Freedom, the Moscow Trials, the American Workers' Party, Congress for Cultural Freedom, Bernard Russell's Portrait from Memory, on the eve of the Cold War. It just looked really interesting, so I got that. And then I picked up this novel by Lawrence Durrell, Livia, or Buried Life. I found out I already had this in a paperback. Then I picked up a novel by T.C. Boyle, When the Killing's Done. Found out I already had a copy of this, but this is what was a first edition, $2. Then I picked up some novels by Martin Amis, The Pregnant Widow, a novel. Information by Martin Amis. He's a British writer. I collect them. All these books are basically things I collect. They're not writers that I collect. Martin Amis, The Yellow Dog. So I've been collecting Martin Amis for years. And when I bought these for 50 cents a piece, when I was cataloging them in library thing, I already had them. So now I got 2 copies. Three copies. Well, I have copies of those. I also have this by T.C. Boyle, The Killing, When the Killing's Done. I already have that. Like I said, I had this in paperback by Lawrence Durrell. And then I picked up this I didn't have by William Trevor. He's an Irish writer, short stories, novels, The Silence in the Garden, a novel. Then I picked up another copy of The Fearful Symmetry, a study of William Blake by Northrop and Frye. I had bought a used copy from the Book Nook. It was all marked up, but this is a clean text. So that's why I got it, even though I have a marked up copy of Northrop and Frye's Fearful Symmetry, a study of William Blake. Then I picked up Ace Atkins, The Broken Places. This is a Quinn Coulson novel. I've been reading him last couple of years. This is a book I got in the mail yesterday, a used book, The Whole 5 Feet, What the Great Books Taught Me About Life, Death, and Pretty Much Everything Else by Christopher R. Bia. Then I picked up the Humane Society thrift store. We were out there yesterday. This is London by Edward M. Murrow. And he was a famous journalist during the 40s. And this is his account of what he saw in London during the Second World War. It's like he was like a war correspondent in the Second World War. This is on the Bloomsbury by Leon Edel, Bloomsbury, A House of Lions. I have already a copy of this, but this is a better edition. So that's why I got it. And I collect books on the Bloomsbury. And then I picked up at Cheapstacks this book, Exploring King Authors Britain by Dennis Stobie. It's like all these places in the King, or Exploring King Authors Britain. So I collect books on the Arthurian legend. And then I picked up Robert Stone stories. I have all Robert Stone's books in my main study. This I didn't have. These are his short stories. Robert Stone, he just died recently. He's an American writer. And these are by Graham Swift. He's a writer I've been collecting for years. He's a British, I think he's British. This is Graham Swift, Ever After, a novel by him. This is another novel by Graham Swift, Out of This World. Now I collect him. As you notice, all these books from the Cheapstacks are writers that I collect. And then I picked up 3 novels by Anthony Powell, who is another British writer that I collect. Temporary Kings by Anthony Powell. Anthony Powell's Hearing Secret Harmonies. Now these are all taken out of the library. They're all withdrawn from the library. Nobody was reading them, so they were withdrawn. And but I like reading British writers. Anthony Powell, Graham Swift, Pat Barker. I got here an Iris Murdoch I picked up there at the book Cheapstacks. The Sacred and the Profane Love Machine by Iris Murdoch. Iris Murdoch is my favorite writers. Then this is a series, the Inspector Montalbano Mysteries, The Age of Doubt by Andrea Camarelli. I collect these series. I have 3 of these downstairs in the lower level. I picked this up at the Humane Society used bookstore. Then I bought this at Cheapstacks this is a first edition. The Word Detective, Searching for the Meaning of It All at the Oxford English Dictionary, Memoir by John Simpson. John Simpson was an editor of the Oxford English Dictionary, and this is like his memoir of his life working on that. He did for 30 years. And as you all know, I love dictionaries, I love words, and so I picked this up. And this is another writer I collect. This is a first edition by Stuart Onan, The Names of the Dead. I have I don't know how many novels by him. This is by another writer I collect. I didn't have this one. See, it's withdrawn from the library. This is by Murrow Vegas Lasso, The Storyteller, translated by Helen Lane. I have 15 of his novels. I didn't have this one. This is a nonfiction by Tim Egan, The Big Burn, Teddy Roosevelt and the Fire That Saved America. I have 3 books by Timothy Hagan. This I never heard of, but these are Venetian stories by Jane Turner Rylands. She writes stories about Vienna. And then this is a book on the American West, The Backbone of the World, a portrait of the vanishing West along the Continental Divide by Frank Clifford. And this is about the American West and the Continental Divide. The Continental Divide. So these are the books I picked up. Like I said, my wife picked up a bunch of books too. And my wife, I suppose I should show you what my wife got yesterday. They're over here. I'll show them to you. My wife picked up the novels of Donna Leon. She picked up at the Humane Society. They had almost all of her writings, and my wife bought this one, Death and Judgment. It just goes on and on. She just bought all these. She bought all these Donna Leon. She just bought them. Some are in hardback. She just bought all of these. She just bought all of these. She spent $30 for these. She also bought a Charles Todd, The Bitter Truth, a Bess Crawford mystery. And what else? She bought a Donna Leon, Donna Leon, Donna Leon, Donna Leon, Donna Leon, Donna Leon. She bought all these yesterday. All these mysteries all take place in Venice. That's why you see like a scene of Venice. They all take place in Venice. These detective stories, and my wife got crazy and she bought all these. She also bought yesterday The American Childhood by Annie Dillard, A Paradise Built in Hell, Extraordinary Communities That Arise in Disaster by Rebecca Solnit. So that's kind of books my wife buys. So yeah, we bought $50 worth of books yesterday. Well, my wife spent $30 just on the Donna Leons because they were like $1 a piece and $2 for hardback at the Humane Society. But we figured, hey, $30 to Humane Society, help the animal rescue and help at the Humane Society. You can't go wrong. And when you buy books at Cheapstacks, the money goes to library activities and different things. So yeah, there's books, just books and books. It's just surrounded by books. So yeah, that is the Cheapstack used book haul, the Friday Reads. And I'll probably make a video maybe again, but I don't really know. I'm doing okay. Like I said, the days go by very fast. I read, I write. The end of the year is always a difficult time for me. I don't know why. It's just things kind of overwhelm me. My past, certain things in my past kind of haunt me, and I don't know what it is. Christmas is not a good time for me, even though I'm very thankful for the birth of the Messiah and him coming to this world and being born and then dying on the cross for my sins, and bringing in the new creation. And I'm thankful for my family, my wife, my kids, my grandkids. So anyway, I hope you're having a good week. And now it's the weekend. There's no football. Well, there's football. Tomorrow there's professional football. I think it's all these playoffs where I don't know what they're all about. But I just thought I'd drop by and say hi. I'm doing okay. Hope you're doing okay. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for the comments. And until next time, bye.